Mate, this weekend's got a bit of everything.
Yes.
Mainly favourites.
Yes, it does. A bit of everything. And I'll tell you what, the favourite bashers are going to be in for a big one, I think, day 2 of the Champs. There's a lot of shorties across the feature races. And I think, to be honest, rightly so. You found some value, though, across the card. But we also made the point throughout the podcast that this might be the weekend to get weird and exotic.
Think outside the box. You can do that with our bookie, the one that's close to our hearts, the good people at Neds.
Yes, you can. You can do all your sort of traditional exotics, I guess, but there's also the same race multi to add some value to your selections. Also the profiles. If you want to follow us in on the weekend, check us out on there and be sure to, share your own. Let us know how you're going.
Yeah. We could break all the records for sharing winners this weekend.
Absolutely. Big weekend.
But what is gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
I need to ask you a question. Be curious, Drifters.
Allegron's won the Brisbane Cup, but it's all Antino. Blake Shin, take a bow. Barraquil, Benny Allen hasn't moved.
Broadside him, bobbed, won the Golden Rose.
Pride of Jenny, trying to find the reserves at the 100. She's 3 in front of Mr. Brightside. It's all too late. Pride of Jenny has run them into the night. Switzerland, the big winner by 2.5 Bellatrix Star.
He's down, Jolly Star. She is a star in the making. Jolly Star bolts in.
It's all Isthmus. She's very smart and fast.
Drifters, hello. Welcome to the review podcast of the Championships Day 2. My esteemed colleague, Declan Jones, is in Melbourne, so he is dialing in. Mate, did you make it to Bendigo yesterday or what?
No, I didn't make the trip, unfortunately. Weird weekend to come to Melbourne. Not a race day at Moonee Valley, Flemington, or Caulfield, and it's also gather round. So there's no AFL happening in Melbourne. It's all in South Australia. But the mighty Melbourne Storm are going round against the Wars this afternoon. So going to check that out. Should be good.
Have you been to their stadium before?
No, I haven't actually. I think it's right next to the G though, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty sure. It's like Rob Baber, the G, like that little precinct. Which is really good to see. Well, all the best. I hope Pappy and Money and Bellyache get the dub for UNG.
Yeah, hopefully. After a ripping win by the Lions yesterday and a dominant display from the Dragons on Friday night, what more could I ask for?
I would have liked to have, 7 out of 10 was good, but I would have liked the card yesterday at Randwick.
7 out of 10 is pretty good. Oh my god! Look, a few of them were pretty short towards the back end, but you had to lay the foundation to be able to get 7 out of 10, and the foundation was well and truly laid.
It really was. Michelangelo's not a friend of mine. He did not set the tone early.
No, he did not.
But to be fair, for Michelangelo, I think he'll make a better 3-year-old. He needs further, even though he is a son of trapeze artists. But Tommy Berry, not his best ride. He was umming and ahhing. He was zigging when he should have been zagging, and that resulted in a 4-length loss. But I don't think anything was beating Spicy Lou out in front anyway.
There was no initiative in that race.
No.
They literally gifted it to Spicy Lou on a platter. No horse decided to take it up at all. It was farcically run, that race. So moving forward, I'm just going to put a big cross through that race form. You're right. You're right about Mick. I think Mick can improve as a 3-year-old, but gee whiz, I was on him as well, and as soon as he went out the back and as soon as you saw the first half of that race, it's it's mathematically impossible for him to win this. It was farcically run.
Fangirl and the Queen of the Turf field would have beaten him by 15 lengths. As is their right, because I don't think... let's put it this way. I don't think Spicy Lou and the rest of these are going to line up in a Queen of the Turf. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so. So Broadsiding won this race last year and on the quick backup won the Champagne Stakes as a 2-year-old. I'd be shocked if anything comes out of that race and beats the likes of Nepotism next week in the Champagne. I'm thinking he's going to start probably $2 odds on.
Mate, this race I'm just looking at previous winners. How's this for a honour roll? Pretty good. Broadside, Tom Kitten. Williamsburg has, gone off the boil. But Converge won a JJ as well. Prized Icon won a Derby the next year. So I think it's a pretty good honour roll, all things considered.
No, it's a good honour roll. But, we'll have to keep an eye on Spicy Lou. I tell you what, Lou might be spicy, but not as spicy as the Sydney sauce. Like 7 out of 10. That's Tabasco type areas.
Well, should we get on to the first winner? Because I want to.
Yeah, sure.
Sergeant Major, for Kieran Maher, Ethan Brown, just like kissed on the dick sort of stuff. His gelded penis, you might say. Just on the rail, Ethan Brown got him into a position where he was awfully comfortable, doing absolutely no work. Blake Shin actually got suspended for his ride on No Strings Attached, so he will not be riding All Age Stakes Day, I don't believe. Yeah. So, but Sergeant Major was just too strong, and this is, how you, me, and our group of punting mates, we really talk about like an hour of power. Well, this started like 3 hours of power for me. And this is when the trumpeting really, really got into its work, really started. So Sergeant Major was a nice collect, and but also I think we said this on the podcast as well. It's like, I think this is a really easy Quinella to have, and this Quinella paid 14-1.
Gee whiz, 14-1. I should have followed your advice. I was on No Strings Attached, so it was a lovely second. It would have been nice if I had the Quincy, but reading the race, it felt like it was a pretty straightforward race. You know what I mean? And it was either one of those two, and I zigged when I should have zagged, but you zigged and zagged.
Yeah, I did. I literally had a bet each way, but, I got the result twice, which was good to see. But Sergeant Major, Ethan Brown was really glowing. He said he rode him, 3 weeks or 3 starts ago, or maybe at the start of the prep in Victoria. And he said he's grown and he's got more mature in that time, which is, I think this horse has a bit of an upside. I think put a line through his his early 3-year-old season, because they were basically going, this is potentially a Derby horse. Didn't work out that way. I think he's got a future as a bit of a sprinter miler, Sergeant Major. Not at the top echelon, but, there's plenty of races on offer for him.
Absolutely. Super lightly raced. He's been gelded. He'll only get better. I thought he was tough. It was a good win.
Yeah, I'm looking at the previous winners of the South Pacific. Nothing really of note, I would have thought. But now, the race 3, we have to give this its flowers as well. The Polytrack Provincial Midway Championships final, over 1,400 metres at set weights. Matcha Latte is not a midway grade horse. It had the highest rating in the race with Lord of Biscay, 96 rater in a set weights midway field. Those two beat the rest of them by 2.5 lengths.
That's an easy Quinella as well, in hindsight. But the midway moral obviously has to peak for the grand final, and rightly so. He did.
Yeah. Got the heavily backed Lord of Biscay, the J-Mac tax in full effect, beaten. Might have taken the unders, unfortunately, because it got out to $5.50 on the World Pool Tote, which is disappointing. Would have liked another $1 in the juice, but beggars cannot be choosers, Declan. But Matcha Latte, for those listening on Wednesday, I said this is nearly the best bet on the card. Bang, gets the job done.
Jam. Well, I don't know what you have on your plate, but whatever it is, it's drowning in hot sauce.
Well, yeah, it's 2 out of 3 is a good start. it's a really good start. Especially when you're $6.50 winner into a $5 winner. Into now, I believe I said this on the stories. Like if you're going to bowl on my pads, I'm going to have to put it away. Like tempted in the Percy Sykes.
It was a jam, wasn't it?
Like J-Mac, I had a look at his jockey comments. He said, I rode her like the best. I think he might have even said, like, I rode her a bit arrogantly, but I rode her like the good thing that she was. Like, I think she was pretty much 3 wide, no cover the entire race and just went, hey, see ya, bang, puts them away by 2 lengths.
Just so much better than him. She's a good little filly. Hopefully she comes on a bit as a 3-year-old. I would suggest that she would, being by Street Boss. Like, there's nothing to say that she's going to go backwards as a 2-year-old. You know, she's not going to be affected by the slipper curse having ran third, but she's a smart little filly. I'm guessing she'll probably spell now, you'd think, and then what? Like come back and aim for a Coolmore? You'd have to. Yeah,
probably. Yeah, you're probably right. I was really good to see Within the Law return like she did. She took a bit of a sit here, but was pretty much run off her legs at the top of the straight. And you're like, oh, God, she's going to finish near last. But then she picked up in the last 200, as she only can. Really hit the line again. So hopefully they put her away now and just aim for a Coolmore in the spring, because I think the wide vans, wide straight at Flemington will suit her down to the earth, and she's already won down the straight.
Absolutely. She's a good little filly. It was good to see.
You know what's disappointing about this one as well, because I had this Quinella as well tempted into Within the Law, and she just couldn't quite get her nose in front of Savvy Haley. So disappointing there, but again, you can't have it all.
Again, you can't have them all. No. You really can't.
The Arrowfield, disappointing that Autumn Glow was scratched, but to be honest, it actually made it a better betting race. So Enriched is still the only winner post the Coolmore in last year.
Yeah, and again, a nice easy one to have Enriched after that last. The last time he went against Autumn Glow, like, yeah, she brained him, but I want that form heading into this race. So it was an easy bet to have. They were coming for the Charlotte Littlefield trained big swinger. And I was like,
I didn't understand that at all.
This is an enormous step up for this horse, and to be fair to it, it was only beaten into fifth by a bit over a length. But Enriched, Imperial Force has been having a good prep, but Public Attention, Private Life, and even Gatsby's are probably all horses that I would have bet on ahead of Big Swinger at the very least. So, yeah, Enriched at about the $5 mark. I saw that. I was like, well, gonna have to have a bet.
Yeah,
it was silly.
Of course. Like, tell you what, he is an imposing animal. Like,
he's a brute.
He is very well put together, and as a 3-year-old colt, like, I think he was quite expensive. He's a son of I Am Invincible. So I think he might have been at the 7 figures when he went to sale as a yearling. So if you listened to Lizzie Jelfs yesterday, she was foaming at the mouth over this thing. She was like, she was just in love with him. He's like, look how well he's put together. His coat is glowing. He's got massive big jowls. He's got a nice haircut. Like he just looks like a bit of a dude, and I think he knows it too. And
yeah,
but he's put it together this prep. Like he probably came a bit too soon for him. Like he finished second last in the Coolmore, but he's the one that's progressed out of that Coolmore. Like he's the only one that's won a race.
Yeah, well there you go. And a horse like that, with the bloodlines, I'm Invincible, just the looks. I know he hasn't won a Group 1, but the Arrowfield's a good Group 2, generally speaking. He's probably secured his stallion future, like as a son of I'm Invincible. But you look at this horse and you think, shit, how are we going to get a Group 1 against his name, as a sort of late peaking 3-year-old. It's like, well, try and do a Schwartz. Try and target, one of those Mooney Valley sprints or something like that, and try and get one of those on the board. Would you want to see him come up to Queensland and have a crack at a Doomben 10,000 or a Kingsford Smith?
Maybe, because that's the Marzu path, right? And because Marzu won this 2 or 3 years ago when he just refused to lose. He refused to lose. Marzu back.
They were never going to beat Marzu.
Better the century sort of stuff.
Unbelievable.
So this is his prep. So he's had 2 trials starting at the 28th of Jan. He ran third first up in a benchmark 78. Then he won the next start at 8-1, I believe. The source might have been on that day in the Fireball. And then he ran second behind Autumn Glow, beaten 2 lengths, and then he's won the Arrowfield. So he's had 4 runs plus 2 trials, so essentially 6 runs in 3 months. Like, that's a pretty taxing prep, I think.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I think you put him away, but I couldn't blame them for bringing him up to Brisbane while he's in form, because with these bulls, as well as I do, it could be a matter of days, not even weeks or months, until they decide that, you know what, maybe this racing caper is not for me.
Well, look at who he's beat here. Like, Gatsby's is a 3-year-old colt. I don't think he's longed to retain his nuts much longer.
No.
Private Life, a 3-year-old colt. We've seen did he win the Australian Guineas or the Caulfield Guineas? He won the Caulfield Guineas.
He won the Caulfield Guineas.
A Caulfield Guineas winner doesn't maketh a sire. We are seeing this.
Yeah, not necessarily. And particularly when, the form out of that Caulfield Guineas is questionable at best. Interesting. He's a Coolmore product, though, so I don't know what that means, but it's all the commercials of it. If he retires to stud tomorrow, like, is he going to cover a lot of mares? And that's the question that Coolmore's got to ask. And then they make the decision. It's like, well, do we want to sell him to another stud farm and they can have him? Or alternatively, do you geld him and race him from there? But I don't think Coolmore's in that sort of business, are they?
Well, he is a written tycoon colt, so Yulong are looking to get into the stallion game, aren't they?
Well, they've got written tycoon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the son of written tycoon, he could bring through the next generation. But surely there's better written tycoon colts and tyres on the market than Private Life.
Southport Tycoon comes to mind. He's better than him.
Yeah, this is why we do this podcast together. Oh, I will mention as well, this Quinella was on my Ned's profile as well. So halfway through the card, you've had 4 winners and 3 Quinellas. Like, honestly, what else do you want? Like, it was a day to trumpet. It was a day to trumpet, mate. It really was.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you know, when you have days like this, you got to celebrate because they don't come around too often.
No.
Only on grand final days for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's actually weird how it actually goes that way. It's like, yeah, it's almost like, grand finals have been very good to us recently.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Australian Oaks, Treasure the Moment, I don't think stays that well, but she just showed her class, didn't she?
Oh, I think she stays better than most, but I don't think a staying trip is her jam. That's how good she is. She's just a line chaser. She had no right to win that race from where she was. They were absolutely walking. I'm guessing you probably have the times. So hard to chase down a front runner when they're gifted the race on a platter. But she did that. She did it, and she's just a racehorse. Yeah,
she really is. It's a good point you make, actually. Because there was no other 2,400 metre races on the day, but Aliana and the Derby field would have beaten this lot home by 21 lengths on raw times.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so I think, that's that probably suits Treasure in the moment. She was very handy in the run, and it obviously suited the leaders who all stuck on. Like Sun and Sand, with all due respect, like you were $51, and you gave Alicia Kohler gave this filly a great ride. But yeah, it wasn't meant to be, I don't think. Tell you what, Belle Detel, like her three-quarter sister, Very Elegant, did not like being on the fence. Like, she was throwing her head around from the 2,000 metres.
I noticed that, yeah. Well, Very Elegant was a prick of a thing to ride, and needed a jockey who could just force her into submission. And I think did Belle Detel have J-Mac on last week?
No,
J-Mac Lane.
Yeah, J-Mac was in Dubai.
That's right. Yeah, so clearly didn't like her run in transit, Belle Detel, but I also think the race shape didn't suit her at all. She's a genuine staying type, and she wanted it to be a truly run 2,400 metres. So complete forgive for mine for Belle Detel.
Hey, she was only beaten. She was beaten 2.5, all things considered, where she was over racing from the 2,000 metres. Like, she's run out of her skin.
Yeah, she has. That's what I mean in that race shape. Like, she runs super. I think sometimes, like, someone made this point on X, and I completely agree. Sometimes you feel like these sort of Group 1 races, they don't ride to the tempo. They ride to a race map that they've seen prior to the actual race unfolding. And what I mean by that is, you know, if you're Damien Lane on Treasure of the Moment, you're effectively told, try and land in the first four, like, one out, one back, take bad luck out of the equation sort of thing. And it's like, well, yeah, that's all good in theory, but if you feel the tempo is so slow and you're on the best horse in the race, why don't you just take up the running and lead on it and say, well, I'm the best horse, you chase me down. And she was good enough, obviously, to get the win, but then you see a horse like Sun and Sand, with all due respect, being 50-1, nearly jag the Oaks. And that's purely on the fact that the jockeys didn't take anywhere near enough initiative and inject a more genuine tempo into the race. Like, it was farcically run, and too many of our races are run like that. But we'll talk about the Sydney Cup after this, and polar opposite, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And Damien Lane pretty much said as much post-race. He was like, to be honest, that wasn't my best ride. I was probably too cute and didn't respect. He said, he's like, I didn't respect the leaders. So it's like, he knew, like, the engine that he had under him. And she, as you said, line chaser, and did what she needed to do, basically. And who was frothing it after the race was Richo. So he got a lot right yesterday, Richo, but one thing he didn't get right was his hat selection. Oh,
he's usually on point, though. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Mate, it was 3 sizes too big for him. And, for when you've got I guess when people know what type of head you have because it's so bald.
It's out in the open.
Yeah. So it's like, I think there's more, I guess, there's more focus on, like, what you do with your head when it's out in the open. And yeah, Richo wasn't your best, bruh, because I'm sure Jason
we love you, mate.
Yeah, like, I'm sure he listens. He's been on the podcast before.
Yeah. Wasn't his best, but he was frothing it, was he?
Well, my original point, hats aside, was he was like, well, that's the best filly. That's the best filly. Like, he was, as you were kind of saying at the start of the prep. So everyone's just jumping on your coattails.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But for Treasure of the Moment, 4-year-old mare, Cox Plate.
Yeah, well, that's what Matt Laurie was alluding to after the race, which is, and I think he understands, like, sure, the Golden Eagle would be, I guess, tempting, but I think he understands that 2,000 metres is this girl's sweet spot.
I think so. And it's good to see an Australian bred filly be so good over a staying trip. Fingers crossed we see her in a Cox Plate at the end of the year.
Yeah, Alabama Express is surely his stud fee's gone up.
Yeah, well, you'd imagine so.
As is the reactionary, I guess, nature of the racing industry. Now, the Sydney Cup. Jason Richardson coming through with the Adam Goods again on the broadcast. Apparently, this was over 1.5 seconds quicker than the track record. So, beaten by about 10 lengths Arapaho. And everyone was going like, Arapaho? Surely he doesn't stay. Well, surely he does.
Oh, it was a heck of a run. And good ride by Rachel King. He's in good form, Arapaho. Like he was, $5 or $6 in the Tancred. Been running super all prep, and the weight for age form translated into the handicap race. Like he was nearly top weight, Arapaho, with 56 kilos. Oh, he ran super. It was a brutally run race, and I think my point before about tempo versus race map also came into play here for the complete opposite reason. I think LL Cant's Timmy Clark was probably like, I'm going to lead at all costs. And he got the lead, but at what cost? You know what I mean? When they knew where she was going to come from, and they went so fast, and I knew straight away. I was like, well, there's no way in hell she's going to win this race, and she faded into 17th, and complete forgive because she went way too fast. And what it did is it set up a tempo that suited Arapaho. I wasn't expecting that. Waltham, who was incredibly one-paced, suited him. And then you made the point that River of Stars ran super, 6-year-old man.
Unbelievable. Like I think she's nearly the run of the race, all things considered. Like facing the breeds, doing the hard way. And she was beaten 3.5 lengths. Arapaho probably is the run of the race, but all things considered, she's run out of her skin. But yeah, all honours Arapaho, 20-1. Big price considering his form. Like he was only beaten 1.8 lengths in the Tancred, and he had that market support. Vauban only just knocked him off in the Sky High over 2,000 metres prior. Like he was only 1.5 lengths away in the Very Elegant Stakes. So he's had a really, really good prep, and you were putting up a case for him in the Tancred prior.
Yeah, he was just in really good form. Bjorn Baker's in really good form. So, like, when I saw him win, I wasn't shocked. So, like, I didn't give him a push at all on the podcast, but I was like, yep, this horse has been going super. I didn't think he was a 3,200-metre horse. But if you look at, if we look at the top, the top 9 in across the finish line, Arapaho was in 7th, so the 800-metre mark. Waltham, 19th. River Stars, 2nd. Mostly Cloudy, 11th. Athabascan, 9th. Garachiko, 14th. Zaire, 12th. Cleveland, 15th. Birdman, 8th. So I think it just reaffirms how super River of Stars has gone, but also the fact that this race was brutally run. So I'm sure it would have had to have rated well if it's broken the track record by that much. I know times aren't everything, but it was. I thought it was a great race.
Zardozi was interesting. Like I thought she was in almost the perfect spot considering like how the race kind of panned out. Honestly, to me, I think she might go a little bit better on a Melbourne leg, and I think she needs some cut out of the ground as well. I think that's the perfect scenario for Zardozi, I think.
I think so, but also she jumped from a 2,000 metre Australia Cup to a 3,200 metre race. Like, you have to be a freak for that to work, and she's not a freak. This is her. She's not a top liner. With all due respect, I think she's a good filly. She's a 4-year-old. for her to win a race, I think she needs the perfect setup, like you said. She needs to have all those boxes ticked.
I thought at the top of the straight, I thought I was in with a sneaky shot with Cleveland. I thought he was looming into it large, but coming about, I don't know, conservatively 20 lengths off the fence, probably not going to help the cause. He did get nudged off, so not Jamie's best ride, but he ran out of puff in the last 200 as well. So he was 2,400 metres to 3,200, and he was also second up. So I think all things considered, he's run pretty well. Cleveland in a Brisbane Cup could interest me.
Yep, absolutely. The perfect race for him.
Tell you what, Bjorn has won 2 out of the 4 3,200 metre features over the last 12 months. He's won a Brisbane Cup with Allegron, and he's won this with Arapaho.
Yeah, true.
And he's also he's won a Doncaster with Steffi. He's won a Coolmore not too long ago. He's a pretty versatile trainer. He's got 2-year-olds, he's got 3-year-olds, he's got sprinters, milers, stayers.
Yeah. It's taken him a while to get the consistency, particularly in the Group 1 races. But you need the stock coming through, and he's started to form some really strong partnerships with, Derby. He's been supporting him for a while. Steffi Magnetica's Silks, I can't remember what they're called, but they're giving him more horses. Yeah, it's good to see, and he cheers like I would if I want a Group 1 as a trainer. Like he just has a crack.
He was in tears after the race. He was
so good.
Because I think this is his favourite horse in his stable. It's an 8-year-old, so it would have been in his stable since probably a 4 or 5-year-old. I think
got a lot of mates in it apparently.
A lot of mates. They lost one of their mates in the ownership group last year as well.
Right.
Yeah, I think he was in tears. He was in absolute tears. So really good to see. And he was like, I try not to show my emotions too much. I'm like, let your emotions out, Bjorn.
It's a tough caper.
It's fantastic, mate. Keep it going. Oh, the Queen Elizabeth, 2,000 metres, Group 1, way for age. Thought Via Sistina was just far too good. And, baby, this was an absolute 20 out of 10 ride from J-Mac. This was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. It was such a good ride, so patient. I thought she was in a bit of trouble. Gate 1, she was dragged further back than what I was expecting. But just the gaps opened up at the right time, and he said, come on, girl, gave her a kick. And what helped, it was a truly run race to bring out her best. She ran absolutely super. And if you get $2 on the day for Via Sistina, so the bookies were keen to take her on. I know Team Green, it was their lay of the day, which was hilarious. So I thought the best 2 horses in the race, ran first and second. And I said to you, Kitty Cat Tom,
mate,
geez, he ran super,
didn't he? He's grown up this prep. He's a full grown man now. Kitty Cat Tom. He's not a Tom Kitten, he's a Tom Cat now. I was thinking about this morning, right? And he's kind of ticked that Melbourne leg box that I had a question mark at the start of the prep because he won an All-Star Mile. Mate, the amount of 2,000 metre grand finals essentially over from 1,800 to 2,000 metres in the spring, there is a race for him, 100%. He will win another Group 1, probably in Melbourne, where it's not necessarily the top echelon, I'd say. So I'm thinking like a Might and Power. I'm thinking, what other ones are there? You know what I mean?
Underwood.
Yeah.
Underwood, yep. Absolutely. He'd have to improve massively to win the Cox Plate, this horse, but you're absolutely right. He's Cascadian-esque. Those races exist for a horse like this. He's going to be shoring up middle distance weight for age ranks for the next 3 years. It's great to see.
And as he, like, he's going to be like your Hartnell Cascadian-esque. Like, he's going to have 50 starts for us, and he's going to be anywhere between $6 to $20 every single time. Because
you love to see it.
Yeah, and he's going to pop up and he's going to win these races. So I think this time next year, this is the perfect Australia Cup horse. Perfect.
Yep.
So yeah, I think he was one of the runs of the race. Dubai Honor was fantastic. Probably not Tom Marquand's best steer, actually. I think with a better steer, he gets a bit closer.
I think so.
Linda Mann, Nash gave him an absolute peach.
He did.
Super. He ran super into fourth. Cheer Wolf was probably beaten by the barrier.
Yep.
Rushan Park. Bit of market support for him. Into $9. I think he was about 12 or 13s on Wednesday. Kind of get it. He's got that international form, but like we compared it to, I think it might have been one of those Hong Kong races that Romantic Warrior won. Like the prognosis beat this horse home by 3 lengths. And then that horse got beaten by 8 lengths in a Cox Plate by Via Sustainer. Yeah. So we kind of knew that he wasn't necessarily up to the same grade as prognosis, and it's kind of worked out that way.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I think you've summarised it well. You got a feel for Cheerwolf. Bill was just way too far back. But it was a truly run race, and it was. I think the one that I thought ran super, and he just peaked on his run a little bit because he was only second up, was Buckaroo, and I'd imagine that if he was only second up here, like surely Doomben Cup Q22 for him.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he ran well. Absolutely. I think if he's coming up to Queensland, I think he will definitely be in with a shout. I just get, to me, and his breeding suggested it, and he kind of ran very similarly as well, because he started favourite in a Melbourne Cup, didn't he? Like,
thereabouts, yeah.
I just think if you send the wrong horse to a grand final like that, I think it can take a bit of the puff out of him in the next prep. Kind of seeing that with Zardozi a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I need to see Buckaroo do it before I'm back on, I think.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, it is fair. What was a better ride? J-Max steer on Via or Fangirl?
No, both really good. Both really good. Yeah, I thought she was in trouble as well, Fangirl. I think you'd have to say Via was the better ride because she drew gate 1 and was always going to be a little bit sticky from the fence and needed to be a good ride to get her home and a patient ride. And it was the exact same thing here, but Fangirl drew gate 6, so probably was entitled to not be as far back as what she was. Like we've seen in the past that J-Max been able to get her into a more prominent position when drawing well, but she just, the C's part and she put him to the sword. Steffi Magnetica was checked a little bit and found some bums, but she also always does that, so you can't sort of be too disappointed for her to miss out. I thought a Tissue ran super as well. The best 3 horses in the race, duly saluted. Yeah,
and the up-and-coming filly, Lazura, into 4th. So, if you just chose this, if you put a trifecta on just on the class horses, it's paid 17-1, but you could probably stick Fangirl out for first. So it's you could probably stake it accordingly. But that is the last time we will see a Tissue on a racetrack. I feel like they've said that the last 2 years, but that's what Nash said. And Nash actually said, because if you see at the top of the straight, Fangirl really, J-Mac gives a Tissue a real good nudge in the ribs and goes hey, that's mine. That little gap, that's mine. And Nash said if he finished a bit closer, he would have put in a protest, but, it wasn't to be.
It's competitive. No, she's been a good horse. What's that? 51, 52 starts. Like Warhorse. It was an interesting one, but he wouldn't leave the gates at one point. So for Chris Wilde to turn that around and to get her competitive in all these sort of races, yeah, she's had a great career. And has she been sold already, or is she going on sale?
All I know is Nash said that's the last time we will see her.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
good horse.
Very good horse. Amelia's Jewel friend that's in the market, she was, about $8 or $9 out to 14. Like, that's a big drift.
Yeah. No, they busted her up in the Coolmore Classic as a top weight. Shouldn't have gone there.
Yeah. Gringzinger Burger, she was fine. I think she's better with a bit of cut out of the ground as well.
Yep.
I think where she can just dominate and get the wheels spinning for everyone else. So,
yep.
God, I was on the floor here with commemorative.
Oh, so was I.
Oh,
so was
God. Shout out to the Leg Up boys for tipping out Infancy at about 60 to 1, I think. And she jumped at about 19. So that is a huge collect for them. Well done. But I would have liked commemorative to win.
That would be nice.
Looking at this race, so it was over the 1,200 metres. The other Godolphin filly that won attempted virtually identical times, and I thought it was virtually identical runs. So commemorative, as a 4-year-old mare, she's just a little bit inconsistent. Like, as we kind of see with these 4-year-olds, they're not absolutely bulletproof. She's run really well. I think she's getting more consistent. She gets a bit older. We might see the best of her as a 5-year-old.
Yeah, I think so. She's almost like a Zapateo. I'm not just saying that because she's in those Godolphin silks. Zapateo could definitely win them, but was a little bit inconsistent. But definitely got a good race in her. So yeah, I was a little bit on the floor. There's a few of those in Bendigo as well, unfortunately, but it is what it is. No, overall a good day. 7 out of 10 for the Source. You love to see it. Group 1 tipping comp. Might have to double check, but it looks like we might have a tie.
Interesting.
For the top prize. So I need to cross the T's and dot the I's, and that'll happen when I'm back from Melbs. But there was a drifter who's come from the clouds and had Arapaho.
Oh,
and got the double points. And they might have joined the current leader, Cordless, on the top of the podium. But yeah, so I'll have to double check, and if that's the case, then we'll get some comms out to those gents. So it'd be Cooper Corliss and Joshua Bunny, who might have taken the tipping comp in a draw, just the two of them. But yeah, we'll confirm that in the next couple of days, and if that's the case, then we'll be in touch and we can sort out if we want to have a tip off next week, or if they just want to split the prize money.
Wow, how's that? And that's why the double points exist for this exact scenario.
Yep. So Josh Bunny, I don't know if he's kicking himself for not putting Via on top in the Queen Elizabeth.
Oh.
He had Linda Mann.
Oh, no.
If Linda Mann ran third, he would have won outright.
No.
But if he had Via, he would have clearly won. So, yeah, he might be kicking himself a little bit, but he's got a Arapaho there. So we'll confirm the next couple of days.
We will. Cross your T's, dot your I's, do all that stuff. Mate, as I leave you, have you tuned into the Masters this morning?
No, I have not. Give me an update.
Your boy Rory was he was behind by 3 shots at the start of play. After 5 holes, he was leading by 3 shots.
I should have had a bet on him just outright.
So he's through 17.
We were talking about him.
Yeah,
we were talking about him.
He's through 17. He's got a 3-shot lead, but on his coattails is Bryson again, as he was at the US Open. So I think it's and Rory's been known in the last decade to absolutely capitulate on the day that it actually matters. So
yeah,
I can't. Yeah, I've unfortunately got to pretty full book tomorrow morning, but I cannot wait to see what happens. But the Masters is so fucking good. I love it.
Oh well, look, I hope for Rory's sake that he can get one. After calling him a massive chucker, because it's a choice. But I wish as soon as that conversation finished, I should have opened up my Neds app and had a bet on Rory.
But
I should have.
But the thing is, mate, is like he's been dog shit at the Masters and in that might be a bit harsh, but the cold facts are he hasn't won a major in about 10 years, and he goes up first or second favourite after Scotty Scheffler. So it's like, sure, am I going to bet on him at 8-1 for four majors a year for 10 years? Like, probably not.
Yeah, but this was my casino moment. This was my get in and get out moment, and I missed it.
Well, mate, trust me, it's by no means done. Jason Day's still in the hunt. He's 7 shots behind at this stage, but anything can happen. Ludwig Oberg, who I'm a big fan of, he's 6 shots back. Bryson, obviously. Fat Pat is in the mix. Fat Pat Reed, previous winner from 2018. And Corey Connors, the Canadian. So it's very well placed.
Canada, it should be another state of the United States of America. He's American.
All right. How was the Fitzroy pub? Was it absolutely pumping after a 10-goal turnaround?
Oh, mate, it was great to see. It was really good to see. Just playing some really good rugby league, the Lions at the moment, aren't they?
They really are. Probably only, quarter to quarter sort of stuff.
Yeah.
They went to sleep in that first half. They were like, you know what? They were just almost like playing with their food a little bit. You're like, we'll get the job done. But tell you what, fucking Derek loves playing against the Dogs. He was nearly one of the best on ground last year, and then he kicks 5.5 yesterday. Good stuff.
Yeah, good on you, Derek. But it's been a pretty taxing start to the year for the Lions, all things considered. They've had to go to Perth, down in Adelaide for gather round, games cancelled due to cyclones. So for them to be undefeated and they're not at their peak, I reckon the rest of the competition will be shaking in their boots.
Yeah, I don't think they went to Perth. I think that's...
Oh, did they not?
Nah, they played West Coast of the Gabba.
But my mistake.
But, yeah. No, but, they were due to play the first game back after playing in the last game last year. So I think they'll play their best footy after the mid-year break. That's when they'll be humming again. They'll be in the finish, mate.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, enjoy the Storm. Anything else that you're doing in Melbourne today?
Might head to the markets this morning. They start at 9, so probably head there now. Just go for a bit of a walk around, taking the ambiance. Melbourne Storm this afternoon, and might have to tap the casino afterwards.
Oh, bang. There you go.
On a Sunday night, that's not too bad, is it?
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Oh, mate, you'll have to put something on number 7, 7 winners for the Sauce yesterday, surely.
7 winners for the Sauce. I'm sure Rory McIlroy's favourite number is 7. My favourite number is 7. I'm born on the 7th. Look out.
That makes too much sense. All right.
Jerome Hughes, first try scorer.
Oh,
you heard it here first.
Damn. All right. Okay. We will be back on Wednesday for All Age Stakes Day. But yeah, we'll see you later, Drifters.
See you, Drifters.